Um, this little passage is where he's talking about the importance of recognizing who is a regular, or who's a return guest or a VIP, if you will. And I love that you've all been embracing the VIP channel. It's amazing. It's been amazing for Francesco. It's been amazing for myself. And the awareness that it creates among everybody of who's really dining here and who's coming back in is really helpful to us. The way that he kind of puts it in here is that he treats his reservationists, his host, his maitre d's, he talks about them as really like the first line of defense or of activism towards, hospitality. So he's trying to get them to collect as much information as possible. So who do they work for? Have they been here before? Do they dine at our other restaurants? What do they like to eat? Where do they like to sit? There's obvious reasons why that could help us when, a guest comes in and we look and we say, welcome back, because we know that they've been here before. But there's really sophisticated, deeper levels of using customer notes. He talks about noticing on, these little tidbits that perhaps somebody worked for a publishing company, and then he notices that somebody else is a reporter. And he'll even strategically sit them together in the dining room, knowing that there's a chance that they might hit it off. And it usually works. He says this interesting passage about how when OpenTable first rolled out, he was really reticent to bring it into his restaurants because he just felt like, oh, technology, that's not what hospitality is about. Like, we can't just digitalize everything. But they were taking all of these notes handwritten anyway. So he just, as they brought in OpenTable, he embraced it. He learned how to use it. Now they use it oftentimes when OpenTable is crafting a new update or a new software. His restaurants are the first go-to that they have to figure out, what kind of things can we do better. He says, despite high-tech enhancements, restaurants will always remain a hands-on, high-touch, people-oriented business. Nothing will ever replace shaking people's hands, smiling, looking them in an eye as a genuine means of welcoming them. And that is why hospitality, unlike widgets, is not something that you can stamp out, and it's not something that you can put out on an assembly line. Its powerful impact can be taught, and teaching it with hundreds of colleagues is the best way that they've found to extend the reach of that. So as we're training the host to do all these things, it's relevant. But then he goes on to say that one reality of his business growth is that he cannot be everywhere at all times. So he compensates for that fact by studying the floor maps, seeing who came in to dine, and in our case, looking at the VIP Slack channel. He says that he'll often run into somebody on the street and be able to say, I understand you were at Tabla last night. How was your dinner? People immediately feel good and are surprised that he would know this. But why wouldn't I? If I want our guests to take an interest in us, I'd better take an equal interest in them. So I hope that kind of drives home why we have that channel, and I really look forward to seeing it continue to be used. And when you make a comment about somebody dining, that you might be able to suggest also who they are, what they like, what they do for us, and in turn we can have the receptionists reincorporating that into guest notes and creating kind of a complete loop of understanding who our guests are and taking a really sincere interest in them.